are talking about the 2016 horror movie Demon Tongue. Now, when I first heard about this film, I thought it might be some kind of like horror sex thing, like Killer Condom. You know where I'm going with a title like Demon Tongue. But it's actually more of a kind of haunting, kind of possession type film. So the budget here is very low. It's around, I believe it was $100,000. And is directed by Gavin Rapp. Stars Jack Davis, Debbie College, and Seth Gontkovic. Something like that. Anyway, the focus here, we basically have these 4 college students as they are sent by this university at the request of this guy to investigate kind of like paranormal goings on in this guy who owns this bar is hoping that they'll disprove it basically, or get rid of anything because it's driving their customers away. And basically what it is there's this kind of like kind of paranormal force that is whispering in people's ear, hence Demon Tongue, to get them to kind of influence things, and obviously bad things happen. One of the students is kind of somewhat sensitive to the paranormal and is kind of sensing things. The rest of them are kind of more just kind of your typical kind of student types. So what is this film like? This is a very low budget film, although I have to say even for $100,000 it still looks lower budget than that, I've got to be honest with you. Now, I don't want to shit on kind of real low budget films because obviously they don't have the money to do proper things, but I had to try and think of this a review, and would I recommend this someone for a viewing pleasure? Would I recommend this film to someone to buy it in a supermarket? Would they enjoy it? I've got to say, probably not. This film is just a little bit too amateurish. When you start off with kind of independent low budget horror films, you're not going to be able to do certain things, and obviously they've taken the right track in trying to kind of have a lot of things off screen, because obviously they can't afford to have a lot of kind of visual effect and stuff like that. But overall, I feel that this film is a very amateurish feeling feel. So we take stuff away from the kind of the budgetary constraints, and we have a look at my issues with it from that. First of all, I feel that the general directing isn't so hot here. When we look at the kind of the framing and stuff like that of the shots, there's some odd choices in regards to some of the kind of the shot setup, stuff like that. There's a prologue at the beginning of the film. It's kind of meant to be taking place somewhat in the past, and they've used this kind of like grainy effect to make it look like it's from the 80s, but it doesn't look like it's from. It looks like you've used it on like video effects to add this kind of level of grain, stuff like that. The acting as well. One of the female leads, the blonde girl, I can't remember the character's name. Basically, she reminds me of Brad Pitt's character from True Romance. She sort of talks like she's like doped up or something. It's just terrible kind of acting. The other girl who is the kind of the one with the kind of the sort of more the sensitive to the sort of paranormal, I have to say is a little bit of better acting, and the guys are kind of not necessarily bad, but kind of somewhat forgettable. But overall, I feel this movie is spinning its wheels quite a lot. I have to say, that there are a couple of kind of good ideas here. Obviously, like I said, because of this film doesn't have a huge amount of budget, it uses its smarts quite well in the fact that it doesn't try and overdo things and overreach, basically. It's not trying to kind of like maybe do stuff that look really crap on screen. But I've got to say, even when we do see more of a kind of a effects-driven climax, it's kind of on the weak side. There are a couple of kind of like creepy moments here and there. A couple of the location shootings, I would say, aren't too bad. And other than the kind of the blonde girl, I would say the acting is, is passable for this level of film. But overall, I feel, obviously it's a good attempt at, I would assume, an early attempt at a horror film. And I can't really knock people for obviously having their starts, but if you were to buy this, in a supermarket and think, oh, would I enjoy this film? For most people, I would say probably not. So I will give this movie a 3 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I'll look forward to seeing it next time. Bye for now.